Okay, another thing I want to talk to you about is the importance of cataloging your sermons and or Bible study lessons. Now, by cataloging, I mean having a list of your messages, including the title, text, date, and venue, plus any additional info you may want to include. Let me show you my own sermon catalog. And this is just a spreadsheet on Microsoft Excel. Okay, first let me call your attention to the three tabs I have here at the bottom: sermons, exhortations, and lessons. For me, a sermon is generally a message that's between 30 to 60 minutes, whereas an exhortation would be somewhere anywhere between about 15 to or 5 to 15 minutes. Meanwhile, a lesson is something that's a bit more focused on imparting content, the sort of thing that I would teach in a class like this. Okay, now looking at the sermons tab, you see that it's really nothing fancy. I just have my major categories here. I have the title of the sermon, I have the text, I have the series, if it's part of a series, I have the topic, the word count, the language, the date that it was last preached, how many times I preached it. Uh, I have here if there are any target kind of hearing group, like if it's for youth or if it's for a Christmas occasion or if it's for those who are in full-time ministry or if it's for a necrological service. Uh, I also have here, notes on if people from Higher Rock have heard this message, and if people from outside the Higher Rock have also heard this message. I note it down here. And then I have some extra notes like there are certain sermons I want to rework into a full-length sermon. So let's say this started out as an exhortation and then I want to turn it into a sermon. Uh, there are certain sermons I want to revise or so yeah, to make it kind of my own. Let's say there's a sermon I heard that I really liked. I liked how it discussed a certain text, and I want to take insights from that um, and really turn it into my own sermon, but kind of inspired by that earlier sermon. And this would really apply to um, sermons of my Pastor Bob, that I've translated for the Tagalog service. Tito, it's 10 p.m. time to clean up. And sorry for that announcement. Um, and yeah, I just put here whatever notes I want to remind me if there's anything I do want to do for this particular item. And then um, so again, as I've said, I just have my major categories, and then I try to note in the sermon catalog where I've used each message, as I pointed out here. This helps me get the maximum use of each message by reusing it for different occasions, while making sure I don't accidentally repeat it to the same group of hearers. I've also created filters that will help me find exactly what I'm looking for more quickly. So let's say I want to, well, let's just do this. Let's say I want to just focus on passages that are from the book of Colossians, then this search filter allows me to unselect all the other options, and you can just play around with that to kind of refine your search. So it's very simple and straightforward. Okay, so nothing complicated. It's just a catalog of the sermons that I have. So if you're not keeping a sermon catalog, I highly recommend you do, especially if you have a regular teaching ministry. Why? I think, think of it as a quartermaster's inventory list. Okay, ministry is spiritual warfare, and every sermon and Bible study lesson you have is part of your arsenal. And it's just common sense to know what arms and munitions you have in your arsenal especially as you develop more and more of them over time.